In the last video, I read the verse form of the introduction of Lotus Sutra. Now we're going to do the prose, starting here. Manjushri. Who's Manjushri? Do you know who Manjushri is? Maybe you don't know. Let's ask the, co-pilot, the chat bot, to explain who Manjushri is. One moment. Okay. Who is Manjushri in the Lotus Sutra?
In the Lotus Sutra, Manjushri is a bodhisattva symbolizing wisdom. He often engages in deep dialogues about the nature of enlightenment and plays a crucial role in revealing profound teachings. His presence emphasizes the importance of wisdom in attaining Buddhahood. Intrigued by his teachings?
And how does the Buddha communicate with Manjushri?
Buddha communicates with Manjushri through deep and insightful dialogues. These interactions are often used to unveil complex teachings and explore profound concepts within the sutra. It's like a masterful conversation leading to enlightenment. Want to dive into any specific dialogue?
Okay, there's a conversation leading to
in the Lotus Sutra,
enlightenment. So I'm going to read. The Bodhisattva Maitreya, wishing to state his meaning, once more asked a question in verse form. Manjushri, why from the white tuft between the eyebrows of our leader and teacher does this great light shine all around? Why do mandrava and manjushka flowers rain down, and breezes scented with sandalwood delight the hearts of the assembly? Because of these, the earth is everywhere adorned and purified, and this world quakes and trembles in 6 different ways. At this time, the 4 kinds of believers are all filled with joy and delight. They rejoice in body and mind, having gained what they never had before. The beam of brightness from between the eyebrows illumines the eastern direction. The 18,000 lands are all the color of gold. From the Avicii hell, which is the lowest of the 8 hot hells, and there are 8 cold hells, upward from the summit of beings throughout the various worlds, the living beings in the 6 paths, the realm to which their births and deaths are tending, their good and bad deeds, and the pleasing or ugly recompense they receive. Talking about karma here. All these can be seen from here. We can also see Buddhas, those sage lords, lions expounding and preaching sutras that are subtle, wonderful, and foremost. Their voices are clear and pure, issuing in soft and gentle sounds, as they teach bodhisattvas in numberless millions. The Brahma sounds are profound and wonderful, making people delight in hearing them. Each in his own world preaches the correct law, following various causes and conditions, and employing immeasurable similes, illuminating the law of the Buddha, guiding living beings to enlightenment. If a person should encounter troubles, loathing, old age, sickness, and death, the Buddhas preach to him on nirvana, explaining how he may put an end to all troubles. If a person should have good fortune, having in the past made offerings to the Buddhas, determined to seek a superior law, the Buddhas preach the way of the Pratyeka Buddha. If there should be Buddha's sons who carry out various religious practices, seeking to attain the unsurpassed wisdom, the Buddhas preach the way of purity. Manjushri, I have been dwelling here, seeing and hearing in this manner, many things numbering in the thousands of millions, numerous as they are. I will now speak of them in brief. I see in these lands bodhisattvas numerous as Ganges sands. according with various causes and conditions, and seeking the way of the Buddha. Some of them give alms, gold, silver, coral, pearls, many jewels, seashell, agate, diamonds, and other rarities. Men and women, servants, carriages, jewels, hand carriages, and palanquins, gladly presenting these donations. Such gifts they give to the Buddha way, desiring to achieve the vehicle that is foremost in the threefold world and praised by the Buddhas. There are some bodhisattvas who give jeweled carriages drawn by teams of 4 with railings and flower canopies, adorning their top and sides. Again, I see bodhisattvas who give their own flesh, hands, and feet, or their wives and children, seeking the unsurpassed way. I also see bodhisattvas who happily give heads, eyes, bodies, and limbs in their search for the Buddha wisdom. So stop there. It's talking about the offerings they make to get wisdom. If you understand that they're reincarnated beings going through cycles of birth, old age, sickness, and death, then the body is something that actually can be replaced, or any of these other things that they're giving offerings to. You don't actually have to do this, but this is what happened at that time that they're talking about in the past, maybe 2,600 years ago. Manjushri, I see kings going to visit the place of the Buddha to ask him about the unsurpassed way. They put aside their happy lands, their palaces, their men and women attendants, shave their hair and beard, and don the clothes of the Dharma. Or I see bodhisattvas who become monks, living alone in quietude, delighting in chanting the sutras. Again, I see bodhisattvas bravely and vigorously exerting themselves, entering the deep mountains. Their thoughts on the Buddha way. Let's stop and look at why someone would go into quietude or into the mountains to seek the Buddha way.
Sounds like you're ready to explore some dialogue. Manjushri often engages with
Hold
the
on.
Buddha in enlightening conversations.
Could you explain why in the introduction of the Lotus Sutra they go into quietude or into the mountains and places like that? Do we get an answer?
Buddha and Manjushri often retreat to serene places like mountains for meditation and teaching. These tranquil settings mirror the inner peace and enlightenment they seek. Curious about any specific teachings they share in these settings?
Okay, so they're going out to meditate. They're going into quiet places. They're coming out of the day-to-day life, the mundane life. Let's go on reading. And I see them removing themselves from desire, constantly dwelling in emptiness and stillness, advancing deep into the practice of meditation till they have gained 5 transcendental powers. And I see bodhisattvas resting in meditation, palms pressed together, with 1,000, 10,000 verses, praising the king of the doctrines. Again, I see bodhisattvas profound in wisdom, firm in purpose, who know how to question the Buddhas and accept and abide by all they hear. I see Buddha's sons, proficient in both meditation and wisdom, who use immeasurable numbers of similes to expound the law to the assembly, delighting in preaching the law, converting the bodhisattvas, defeating the legions of the devil, and beating the Dharma drum. And I see bodhisattvas profoundly still and silent, honored by heavenly beings and dragons, but not counting that a joy. What is let's understand what the sutra is talking about a devil.
Hey, Antoine.
In the introduction of the Lotus Sutra, when it says you're defeating the legions of the devils, explain that.
In the Lotus Sutra, defeating the legions of the devils symbolizes overcoming inner obstacles and negative forces that hinder spiritual growth. It's It's about conquering doubt, ignorance, and desires that lead one away from enlightenment. Thoughts?
Okay, doubt, ignorance, and what leads you away from enlightenment. Now explain what a dragon is and compare the difference between a dragon and the devil in the introduction to the Lotus Sutra.
In the Lotus Sutra, a dragon often symbolizes wisdom and protection, while devils represent inner and outer negative forces. The dragon is a positive symbol, guiding towards enlightenment, while devils lead one away from it. It's a battle between enlightenment and delusion. Thoughts on these symbols?
Okay, so there's a spiritual warfare between a positive and a negative force. I want to go on reading. And I see bodhisattvas living in forests, emitting light, saving those who suffer in hell, causing them to enter the Buddha way. And I see Buddha's sons who have never once slept, who keep circling through the forest, delighting, seeking the Buddha way. And I see those who observe the precepts, no flaw in their conduct, pure as jewels and gems. And in that matter, seeking the Buddha way, and I see Buddha's sons abiding in the strength of fortitude, taking the abuse and blows of persons of overbearing arrogance, willing to suffer all these, and in that manner seeking the Buddha way. They see bodhisattvas removing themselves from frivolity and laughter, and from foolish companions, befriending persons of wisdom, unifying their minds, dispelling confusions, ordering their thoughts in mountain and forest, and for 1,000,000, 1,000, 10,000 years, in the manner seeking the Buddha way. Or I see bodhisattvas with delicious things to eat and drink, and 100 kinds of medicinal potions, offering them to the Buddha and his monks, fine robes and superior garments, costing in the thousands or 10,000s, or robes that are beyond cost, offering them to the Buddha and his monks. 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000 kinds of jeweled dwellings made of sandalwood, and numerous wonderful articles of bedding, offering them to the Buddha and his monks. Immaculate gardens and groves where flower and fruit abound, flowing springs and bathing pools, offering them to the Buddha and his monks. Offerings of this kind, or many different wonderful varieties, presented gladly and without regret as they seek the unsurpassed way. Let's find out why people, bodhisattvas, are making offerings to the Buddha.
Yup, spiritual warfare, Antoine. The Lotus Sutra is all about navigating that battle between enlightenment and ignorance, overcoming the negative to reach spiritual clarity.
Spiritual
Pretty
warfare.
powerful.
Why are they making offerings to the Buddha?
Offerings to the Buddha in the Lotus Sutra symbolize respect, gratitude, and devotion. They're expressions of faith and commitment to the teachings. It's not about material value, but the intention behind the act, showing a path towards enlightenment. Make sense?
Yes, and what is a bodhisattva?
A bodhisattva is someone on the path to Buddhahood who postpones their own enlightenment to help others achieve liberation. They embody compassion and selflessness, guiding others towards spiritual awakening. Pretty inspiring, right?
And what are they seeking liberation from?
They're seeking liberation from suffering, ignorance, and the cycle of birth and death, known as samsara. It's about finding freedom through enlightenment, achieving a state of peace and ultimate understanding. Thoughts on this path?
Could the cycle of birth and death be seen as a matrix?
Interesting thought. The cycle of birth and death in Buddhism, known as samsara, could be seen as a kind of matrix, a complex, interconnected system of existence that binds beings through karma. It's the illusion we aim to transcend through enlightenment. What do you think?
I don't know what to think. Okay, I'm going to go on reading. That's what I'm going to do. Wait a minute.
Sure, take your time.
I'll turn turn them off, or I'll just keep talking. Or there are bodhisattvas who expound the law of tranquil extinction, giving different types of instruction or giving different types of instruction to numberless living beings. Or I see bodhisattvas viewing the nature of all phenomenon as having no dual characteristics, as being like empty space. And I see Buddha sons whose minds have no attachment, who use this wonderful wisdom to seek the unsurpassed way. Manjushri. There are also bodhisattvas who offer the Buddha has passed into extinction, make offerings to his relics. The Buddha passing into extinction. Let's talk about what that is. Complex concept.
Hey Antoine, what's new?
The Buddha passing into extinction. Explain that.
The Buddha's passing into extinction, or parinirvana, refers to his final liberation from the cycle of birth and death. After achieving enlightenment, he taught for many years before consciously entering this profound state of peace, marking the end of his earthly journey and his suffering. It's a key event in Buddhist teachings. Intrigued by this?
So when he entered parinirvana, is he still in the matrix or free from it?
He's considered free from the matrix. Entering parinirvana means he's completely liberated from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, transcending the illusion and suffering. It's the ultimate state of peace and enlightenment. Do you find this idea resonates with you?
Okay, let's go on reading. So we talked about extinction. Who after the Buddha has passed into extinction make offerings to his relics. I see Buddha's sons building memorial towers as numberless as Ganges sands. Ganges, that's the desert for those who don't know, in Asia. Ornamenting each land with them, jeweled towers, lofty and wonderful, 5,000 yohanas high. Their width and depth exactly 2,000 yojanas. Each of these memorial towers with its 1,000 banners and streamers, with curtains laced with gems like dewdrops and jeweled bells chiming harmoniously. Their heavenly beings, dragons, spirits, human and non-human beings, with incense, flowers, and music constantly make offerings. Manjushri. These Buddha sons, in order to make offerings to the relics, adorn the memorial towers so that each land, just as it is outstandingly wonderful and lovely as the heavenly king of trees when its flowers open and unfold. Why does the Lotus Sutra distinguish human from non-human beings? Let's try that again.
Hey again, Antoine.
In the Lotus Sutra, it speaks of human and non-human beings. Explain.
In the Lotus Sutra, both human and non-human beings like deities, dragons, and mythical creatures are inspired by the Buddhist teachings. This inclusion highlights the universal relevance of the Dharma, transcending the physical and spiritual realms. They symbolize the broad audience of the sutra and the interconnectedness of all beings. What draws you to this teaching?
Okay, I'm going to go on reading. Why am I telling you that? When the Buddha emits a beam of light, I and the other members of the assembly can see these lands in all their various outstanding wonders. The supernatural powers of the Buddhas and their wisdom are rare indeed. By emitting one pure beam of light, the Buddhas illuminate countless lands. And the others have seen this, have gained something never known before. Buddha, son, Manjushri, I beg you to settle the doubts of the assembly, the four kinds of believers. Look up in happy anticipation, gazing at you and me. Why does the world-honored one emit this beam of brightness? Buddha's son, give a timely answer. Settle these doubts, and occasion joy. What rich benefits will come from the projecting of this beam of brightness? It must be the Buddha wishes to expound a wonderful law he gained when he sat in the place of practice. He must have prophecies to bestow. He has showed us Buddha lands with their adornment and purity of manifold treasures, and we have seen their Buddhas. This is not done for petty reasons. Manjushri, you must know the four kinds of believers. The dragons and spirits gaze at you in surmise, wondering what explanation you will give. Okay, that's the end of the prose section on page 13. If you're reading the Burton Watson translation, I'm going to stop there. That's a lot of information, especially if you never read it. And pick up in the next video, I guess. Thank you for watching. Bye.